Let her read every document related to Patricia's company. The story he told matched the evidence. A company in crisis, an investor trying to help, a founder who couldn't handle losing control. He also showed her the other emails Patricia had sent over the years. To his board members, to his friends, to other entrepreneurs he tried to help. All with the same accusations, all debunked by documentation. She can't accept that her company failed because of her decisions, Donovan said. She needs someone else to blame. I'm convenient. Naomi sat back in her chair, exhausted. I'm sorry. I should have trusted you. No, Donovan said firmly. You should have asked questions exactly like you did. Trust isn't about blindly believing. It's about being willing to seek truth even when it's uncomfortable. He sat beside her. What happened with Trevor broke your ability to trust. I get that. But don't let him take away your ability to evaluate evidence and make informed decisions. That's your real strength. She looked at him. You're not angry that I doubted you? I'm glad you doubted me. It means you're protecting yourself. That's healthy. He smiled slightly. Though I admit for a moment there, I was terrified you'd walk away before I could explain. Why would that terrify you? Donovan was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was soft. Because somewhere in the past few months, you became more than a business investment to me. You became someone I care about. He stopped. Someone important. Naomi's breath caught. Donovan. I know it's too soon. I know you're still healing. I'm not asking for anything, Naomi. I just want you to know that my interest in your success isn't purely professional anymore. It's personal too. Her heart pounded. Part of her wanted to run from this confession, from the vulnerability of caring again. But another part wanted to lean in, to take the risk, to believe that maybe this time could be different. I'm scared, she admitted. I'm terrified of being wrong about someone again. Then don't decide anything tonight. Keep working with me professionally. Keep being my friend. And when you're ready, if you're ever ready, to explore something more, I'll be here. He stood, offering his hand to help her up. But right now you should go home. Process this. Talk to Dr. Carmen. Make the decision that's right for you. She took his hand, let him pull her to her feet. Thank you for understanding. I've been divorced, remember? I know how hard it is to trust again. I'd never rush you. That night, Naomi lay awake processing everything. The email had shaken her, but Donovan's response had reassured her. He hadn't gotten defensive or angry. He'd simply shown her the truth and trusted her to evaluate it. That was different from Trevor, who'd lied until confronted, then blamed her for discovering his lies. In therapy the next day, Dr. Carmen listened to the whole story. What do you want to do? I want to trust him. I want to accept his investment and maybe, someday, explore a relationship with him. But I'm terrified. Fear is normal after what you've been through. But don't let fear make all your decisions. Evaluate the evidence. Donovan has been nothing but honest with you. He supported your business with no strings attached. He's respected your boundaries. He's been transparent about his past. Those aren't Trevor's behaviors. So I should take the risk? I can't tell you that. But I can tell you that hiding from risk forever means hiding from life. At some point, you have to decide. Do you want safety or do you want the possibility of real happiness? Sometimes you can't have both. Naomi thought about that for days. Safety versus happiness. Protection versus possibility. She'd spent months rebuilding her life, establishing boundaries, learning to stand on her own. She was strong now. Independent. Successful. But was she happy? She called Donovan a week after the Patricia email. I want to accept your investment. With one condition. Name it. We keep everything professional for now. Business only. I need time to be sure about anything personal. Can you accept that? Absolutely. Business partnership first. Everything else can wait. They signed the investment papers the following week. Donovan transferred $5 million into Foundation Legal's accounts. They hired a COO, a marketing director, and began scouting locations for new offices. Naomi threw herself into expansion. Within 2 months, Foundation Legal had offices in 3 new cities. Within 6 months, they had a team of 35 people serving over 200 clients. You're building an empire, Rochelle said, visiting the new headquarters. This is incredible, Naomi. It's terrifying, Naomi admitted, but also amazing. I wake up excited every day. I love what I do. I love helping people. And Donovan? How are things with him? Professional. Friendly. He hasn't pushed for more and I appreciate that. But even as she said it, Naomi knew her feelings had deepened. She found herself thinking about him constantly, looking forward to their business meetings more than was strictly professional. Rochelle saw right through her. "You're falling for him." "Maybe. Probably. I don't know." Naomi sighed. "Is it too soon? Trevor and I have only been divorced for 8 months. There's no timeline for healing. If you're ready, you're ready. If you're not, you're not. But don't sabotage something good just because you're scared." That night, Naomi made a decision. She texted Donovan, "Dinner tomorrow? Not business." His response came immediately, "I'd love that." Dinner turned into a real first date. Donovan picked Naomi up at her house, the house she'd completely transformed from the home she'd shared with Trevor into her own sanctuary. When he arrived, she was ready, dressed in a stunning emerald dress that made her feel beautiful and powerful. "You look incredible," Donovan said, his eyes warm with admiration. "Thank you. You clean up pretty well yourself." They went to a rooftop restaurant with a view of the city lights. Unlike their previous dinners, this one was explicitly romantic. Donovan held her chair, ordered champagne, and told her directly, "I'm glad you're ready for this. I've been waiting months for you to feel safe enough to try." "I'm still scared," Naomi admitted. "But I'm also tired of letting fear win." "You've been nothing but good to me, Donovan. It's time I acknowledged that." "I plan to keep being good to you. But I need you to know, I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. The difference between me and Trevor is that I'll own those mistakes, not hide them or blame you for them. That's all I ask. Honesty, respect, partnership. You have all three. Always." They talked for hours, the conversation flowing easily from business to personal, from past to future. Donovan told her about his childhood, growing up poor in the South, working 3 jobs to put himself through college. "I know what it's like to have nothing," he said. "That's why I'm so passionate about helping people build something." Naomi shared her own story, not just the Trevor part, which Donovan already knew, but her whole journey. Growing up in a middle-class family that valued education, working hard to get into law school, building her career step by step. "I thought I was building a life with Trevor," she said. "Turns out I was just building his life while mine disappeared. You're building your own life now. And it's magnificent." They ended the evening with a kiss. Just one, soft and gentle, standing outside Naomi's door. When they pulled apart, Naomi was smiling. "That was nice," she said. "I've been wanting to do that for months," Donovan admitted. "Worth the wait." Over the next few months they dated properly. Slowly, carefully, with Naomi setting the pace. Donovan was patient, never pushing, always respecting her boundaries. He understood that she needed time to trust fully, to believe that this was real and safe. Meanwhile, Foundation Legal continued to thrive. They opened 2 more offices, bringing their total to 5 cities. Revenue hit 7 figures. Naomi was featured in a business magazine as the attorney revolutionizing small business protection. The article mentioned her background, the betrayal, the comeback, the mission to help others avoid her fate. After the article published, Naomi received dozens of messages from women who'd gone through similar experiences. "You inspired me to leave," one wrote. "You showed me there's life after betrayal," said another. She also received hate mail. Angry messages from men who called her bitter, vindictive, a man-hater. One message in particular stood out: "You destroyed Trevor's life and now you're profiting from it. You're disgusting." The message was from Simone. Naomi stared at the email for a long time. She'd successfully avoided thinking about Simone and Trevor for months. She had no idea what had happened to them after the settlement. Curiosity got the better of her. She searched Simone's social media. The accounts that had once broadcast luxury lifestyle photos were now private or deleted. Her LinkedIn showed she was unemployed. A quick search revealed why. After Trevor's fraud conviction became public, Simone had been investigated too. While she wasn't charged criminally, her reputation was destroyed. No one would hire the woman who'd helped steal from a spouse. Trevor's situation was worse. He'd pleaded guilty to identity theft and fraud to avoid prison time, but he'd lost everything. His professional licenses were revoked. He'd declared bankruptcy. His social media accounts were gone. Naomi felt nothing. No satisfaction, no sympathy, no vindication. They'd destroyed themselves. She'd simply refused to let them destroy her too. She deleted Simone's email without responding and went back to work. At a business conference a few weeks later, Naomi delivered the keynote speech. Her topic: Building Unshakable Foundations After Devastation. She spoke about her experience, about Foundation Legal's mission, about the importance of protecting yourself without becoming cynical. I could have let what happened make me bitter, she told the audience of 500 entrepreneurs. I could have decided all men are bad, all relationships are dangerous, all trust is naive. But that would have let Trevor win. Instead, I chose to believe that one person's betrayal doesn't define what's possible. I chose to build something better. And so can you. The standing ovation lasted 3 minutes. Afterward, dozens of people approached her with their own stories, asking for advice, thanking her for her honesty. Donovan waited until the crowd dispersed, then hugged her tightly. You were incredible up there. You're changing lives, Naomi. I'm trying. You're succeeding. He pulled back to look at her. I'm so proud of you. Not just for what you've built professionally, but for who you've become. You're stronger than you ever were before. That evening, back at the hotel, Donovan ordered room service to Naomi's suite. They sat on the balcony, overlooking the city, talking about the day's events. Do you ever think about Trevor? Donovan asked. Wonder what happened to him? I used to. Now, I mostly don't care. He's not part of my life anymore. He doesn't deserve space in my thoughts. Naomi sipped her wine. Today I found out he and Simone both lost everything. I thought I'd feel victorious. But I just felt empty. Like it didn't matter anymore. That's growth. You've moved so far beyond that chapter that their consequences don't even register. Is that healthy? Shouldn't I care about justice being served? Justice was served through the legal system. You don't have to personally celebrate their downfall to know they got what they deserved. Donovan took her hand. You're allowed to be done with that story. You're allowed to focus on the new one you're writing. Naomi squeezed his hand. The new story includes you. I certainly hope so. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the city lights. After a while, Donovan said, I need to tell you something. It's probably too soon, but I can't hold it in anymore. Naomi's heart skipped. Okay. I'm in love with you, Naomi. I've been falling for you since that day in the coffee shop. Watching you rebuild, seeing your strength and compassion being part of your journey, it's been the best experience of my life. I know it's only been 8 months since we met, and I'm not asking you to say it back if you're not ready. I just need you to know how I feel. Tears pricked Naomi's eyes. Not sad tears, happy ones. I love you too, she said, surprised by how easy the words came. I think I've been in love with you for months. I was just too scared to admit it. Donovan pulled her close. You're sure? I'm sure. And she was. This wasn't the desperate need she'd felt with Trevor, the clinging to an idea of what love should be. This was real, built on respect, friendship, shared values, and genuine connection. They spent the night talking about their future. Not just business plans but personal ones. Where this relationship could go. What they both wanted. How to build something lasting together. I want to do this right, Donovan said. I want to date you properly, meet your friends and family, integrate our lives gradually. No rushing. Just steady, intentional building. That sounds perfect. Over the next months, that's exactly what they did. Donovan met Rochelle, who grilled him thoroughly before declaring him actually decent. He met Naomi's parents, who loved his respectful manner and clear devotion to their daughter. Naomi met his children from his first marriage. Grown adults who were skeptical at first but warmed to her quickly. They traveled together, mixing business with pleasure. They attended business conferences and took weekend getaways. They celebrated Foundation Legal's continued growth and planned for even more expansion. You could franchise the model, Donovan suggested during one strategy session. License the Foundation Legal approach to attorneys in other cities who want to focus on entrepreneur protection. That could work. We'd maintain quality control while expanding reach. Naomi made notes. I love this. I love that we can talk about business and life and everything flows together. That's how it should be. Partnership means exactly that, sharing everything, building together. One evening, Donovan took Naomi to the coffee shop where they'd first met. The owner had saved their usual table, knowing they were coming. Over lattes, Donovan pulled out a small box. Naomi's breath caught. Before you panic, Donovan said, smiling, this isn't what you think. Well, it is, but it's also not. Just open it. Inside was a key on a simple chain. What's this? Key to my penthouse. I want you to have your own space there, to come and go as you please. I'm not asking you to move in, not yet. But I am asking you to know that my home is yours whenever you want it. No strings, no pressure. Just possibility. Naomi looked at the key, then at Donovan. A year ago, she'd been humiliated in a boutique, discovering her husband's betrayal, losing everything. Now she was successful, loved, happy. The transformation felt surreal. Are you crying? Donovan asked, concerned. Happy tears, Naomi said, wiping her eyes. I'm just grateful for all of this. For you. For the second chance at happiness I never thought I'd get. You gave yourself that second chance by being brave enough to start over. I just got lucky enough to be part of it. She kissed him, there in the coffee shop where her new life had begun. Thank you for seeing me when I couldn't see myself. Thank you for letting me in when you had every reason to keep people out. Foundation Legal celebrated its one-year anniversary with a gala event. All their clients were invited, along with business partners, investors, and the media. Naomi gave a speech about their first year's accomplishments. Over 400 clients served, 15 employees, 5 offices, 7 figures in revenue. But numbers aren't what this business is about, she said. It's about the entrepreneur who didn't lose everything in a bad partnership because we protected her. The startup that survived because we caught fraud early. The single mother who built a business that supports her family because we helped her do it right. That's what Foundation Legal means. That's why we exist. More applause. More congratulations. More people whose lives had been changed by the business she'd built from pain. At the end of the night, after everyone had left, Naomi stood in the empty event space with Donovan. We did this, she said, looking around. From nothing to this in 1 year. You did this. I just helped. You did more than help. You believed in me before I believed in myself. She turned to face him. I want to move in with you. Not just use the key, actually move in. Build a life together. Donovan's face lit up. Are you sure? There's no rush. I'm sure. I'm done playing it safe. I'm done letting fear dictate my choices. I love you. I trust you. I want to wake up next to you every morning and fall asleep beside you every night. I'm sure. He kissed her, lifting her off her feet. Then let's do it. Let's build everything together. They sealed the decision right there, in the empty event space that represented her triumph over devastation. This was her life now, success she'd earned, love she deserved, happiness she'd fought for. And it was only the beginning. Moving in together was easier than Naomi expected. She'd worried that it would feel rushed, that old fears would resurface. But Donovan's penthouse quickly became home. Not because of the luxury or the view, but because it was where he was. They fell into a comfortable rhythm. Morning coffee together before heading to their respective offices. Evening walks along the waterfront. Weekend mornings spent in bed reading, talking, planning their future. It was domestic and wonderful, nothing like the strained silence that had characterized her marriage to Trevor. This is what partnership actually looks like, Naomi told Dr. Carmen during a session. Mutual respect. Shared responsibilities. Actual conversation. How does that feel compared to what you had with Trevor? Like I was living in black and white before and now everything's in color. I didn't realize how much I'd settled until I found what I actually deserve. Dr. Carmen smiled. You've come a long way from the woman who walked into my office 10 months ago. I still have hard days. I still get triggered sometimes, like when Donovan's phone rings at odd hours and my brain immediately assumes he's hiding something. But the difference is I recognize the trigger now. I talk to him about it instead of spiraling. That's healthy coping. You're managing your trauma instead of letting it manage you. At work, Foundation Legal continued expanding. They'd opened 3 more offices and were considering international expansion. Naomi spent her days consulting with clients, managing her team, and developing new services. The work was fulfilling in a way corporate law had never been. One afternoon, a potential client walked into Naomi's office for a consultation. The woman was trembling, eyes red from crying. I don't know where else to go, she said. My business partner stole everything. I'm about to lose my company, my house, everything I've worked for. Naomi's heart clenched. This could have been her story. This could have been her life if she hadn't fought back. Tell me everything, Naomi said gently. Start from the beginning. The woman's name was Patricia, not the same Patricia who'd sent the email about Donovan, Naomi learned, but the similarity was jarring. This Patricia had started a catering business with her boyfriend. He'd convinced her to put everything in his name for tax purposes. Then he'd emptied the accounts and disappeared. I trusted him, Patricia sobbed. I loved him. How could he do this? Naomi came around her desk and sat beside her client, holding her hand. Because some people are users. They see trust as weakness to exploit. But you're not weak for trusting. He's weak for betraying. Everyone keeps telling me I should have known better. That I should have protected myself. Maybe. But you know what? People don't enter relationships expecting betrayal. You acted with love and trust. He acted with malice. That's on him, not you. Naomi squeezed her hand. Now we focus on getting back what's yours. Do you have any documentation of your contributions to the business? Over the next hour, they reviewed what evidence Patricia had. It wasn't much, but it was enough to build a case. Naomi took her on as a client for reduced fees. She never wanted money to be a barrier for women escaping financial abuse. Why are you being so kind to me? Patricia asked as she was leaving. You don't even know me. Because someone was kind to me when I needed it most. Now I pay it forward. That evening, Naomi told Donovan about her new client. It brought up a lot of old feelings. I kept seeing myself in her, the betrayal, the devastation, the self-blame. How did you handle it? I remembered that I survived it. I came out stronger. If I can do it, so can she. Naomi leaned into him. Having you helps too. You remind me that not everyone is like Trevor. That trust isn't always misplaced. I'm glad I can be that for you. Donovan kissed the top of her head. Speaking of trust and partnership, I have something I want to discuss. That sounds serious. It might be. Or it might be nothing. He pulled out his phone and showed her a property listing. This building is for sale. It's in the perfect location for Foundation Legal's flagship office. Right in the business district, great visibility, lots of space. It's expensive, but it would be an incredible investment. Naomi looked at the listing. The building was beautiful, historic but renovated, exactly the kind of place that would make Foundation Legal's success visible. But the price tag made her gulp. That's a lot of money. We could do it together. Joint purchase. Foundation Legal and Pierce Ventures splitting the cost and ownership. Your company gets its headquarters. I get a great real estate investment. We build something together, literally. That's a huge commitment. I know. That's why I'm asking, not just doing it. Donovan set his phone down. I want to build a life with you, Naomi. That includes professional partnership as much as personal. But only if you're comfortable with it. Naomi thought about it. A year ago, combining her life with someone else's had been disastrous. But this was different. This was transparent, equal, based on mutual benefit and clear agreements. I want to see it, she decided. Let's tour the building together, run the numbers, see if it makes sense. They visited the property the next day. It was even better in person. 6 floors of beautiful office space with modern amenities but classic architecture. Naomi could picture Foundation Legal's logo on the building, her team working in these spaces, clients being welcomed in the elegant lobby. What do you think? Donovan asked. I think it's perfect. I think it's exactly what we need to take Foundation Legal to the next level. She turned to him. Let's do it. Let's buy this building together. The purchase went through in 6 weeks. Foundation Legal moved into their new headquarters with fanfare, a ribbon-cutting ceremony covered by local business news. Naomi stood in front of the building with Donovan beside her, cameras flashing, feeling like she'd conquered the world. This is your moment, Donovan whispered. Enjoy it. She did. She posed for photos, gave interviews, toured the new offices with her team. This building represented everything she'd fought for, success on her terms, independence she'd earned, a future she was building brick by brick. That night, back at the penthouse, Donovan poured champagne. To Foundation Legal's continued success. To building empires, Naomi added, clinking her glass against his. They stood on the balcony looking out at the city. Somewhere down there was the boutique where she'd been humiliated. Somewhere was the house she'd shared with Trevor. Somewhere was the woman she used to be, smaller, sadder, less certain of her worth. What are you thinking about? Donovan asked. How far I've come. How different my life is now. She looked at him. How grateful I am that you saw something in me when I couldn't see it myself. I saw what was always there. You just needed permission to believe in it. I love you, Naomi said. Simple words, but they carried the weight of everything she felt. I love you too. Donovan set down his champagne glass. And I want to love you for the rest of my life if you'll let me. He dropped to one knee. Naomi's heart stopped. Donovan. I know we've only been together officially for 8 months. I know you might think it's too soon. But I'm 53 years old, Naomi. I've been married before. I know what love is and what it isn't. And this is real. This is forever. He pulled out a ring box. Naomi Thompson, will you marry me? The ring was stunning, but Naomi barely saw it. She was looking at Donovan's face, at the love and hope and certainty in his eyes. She thought about everything they'd built together, every moment of support and partnership and genuine connection. She thought about how he'd never rushed her, never pressured her, never made her feel less than equal. How he believed in her business before it existed. How he'd respected her healing process even when it meant waiting months for their relationship to progress. She thought about how he made her laugh, challenged her thinking, supported her dreams. How being with him felt like coming home. "Yes," she said, tears streaming down her face. "Yes, I'll marry you." Donovan stood and slipped the ring onto her finger, a perfect fit. Then he kissed her, and Naomi knew with absolute certainty that this was right. This was real. This was the love she deserved. They called Rochelle first. She screamed so loud Donovan pulled the phone away from his ear. "It's about time. When's the wedding? Can I be maid of honor? Is it going to be huge?" "Slow down," Naomi laughed. "We literally just got engaged 5 minutes ago. And start planning. You deserve the wedding of the century after everything you've been through." They told Donovan's children next, who were thrilled. "Dad hasn't been this happy in years," his daughter said. "You're good for him, Naomi." "He's good for me too." Naomi's parents cried happy tears. Her father shook Donovan's hand firmly. "You take care of my daughter." "I plan to spend the rest of my life doing exactly that," Donovan replied. The engagement became public knowledge quickly. Foundation Legal's team threw an impromptu celebration at the office. Clients sent congratulations. The business press ran articles about the power couple building empires together. And somewhere, Naomi knew Trevor and Simone saw the news. She didn't think about them often anymore, but she couldn't help wondering what they thought when they saw her success, her happiness, her triumph over everything they'd tried to destroy. "Do you think Trevor knows?" Rochelle asked over lunch a few days later. "Probably. Not that I care." "Come on, you have to care a little. The man who betrayed you sees you're now engaged to a billionaire? That's got to feel vindicating." "It would if I'd done this for him. But I didn't. I built my life for me." Naomi twisted the engagement ring on her finger. "If Trevor sees my success and regrets what he lost, good. But his regret isn't why I worked so hard. I did it to prove to myself that I could. You're a better person than me. I hope he's miserable. I hope he learned something. But either way, he's not my problem anymore." They started planning the wedding. Nothing huge, just an intimate ceremony with close friends and family. "I don't need a spectacle," Naomi told the wedding planner. "I need a celebration of love with people who matter." The planning was fun but also triggered unexpected emotions. Naomi found herself grieving the marriage that had failed, the dreams that had died with it. Even though she was happy now, even though Donovan was everything Trevor wasn't, there was still loss to process. "It's okay to be sad about what ended even while you're happy about what's beginning," Dr. Carmen said. "Those feelings can coexist." "I know. It just feels strange to be planning a wedding while still processing the trauma of my first marriage." "That's human. You're allowed to be complicated." The wedding date was set for 6 months away, enough time to plan but not so long that they had to wait forever. Naomi threw herself into preparations while continuing to run Foundation Legal. The balance felt good, manageable, nothing like the chaos that had preceded her first wedding. One afternoon, while reviewing contracts at Foundation Legal's headquarters, Naomi's assistant buzzed her. "Someone here to see you. Says it's urgent but won't give their name." Naomi's stomach tightened. Unannounced visitors were rarely good news. "Send them in." The woman who walked through the door was familiar but changed. It took Naomi a moment to recognize her. Simone. She looked nothing like the glamorous woman from the boutique. Her hair was poorly dyed, her clothes off the rack and wrinkled. She'd aged years in the months since Naomi had last seen her. "You shouldn't be here," Naomi said, standing. "I have a restraining order against you. That expired 3 months ago." "I checked." Simone's voice was small, defeated. "I just need 5 minutes. Please." Every instinct screamed at Naomi to call security. But curiosity won out. 5 minutes. Then you leave." Simone sat down, looking around the luxurious office. "You've done well for yourself. What do you want, Simone?" "To apologize." Simone's eyes filled with tears. "For everything. For the boutique, for the affair, for helping Trevor steal from you. I was horrible to you. Cruel. I destroyed your life for no reason except that I could." Naomi waited. She didn't trust this, didn't believe in Simone's sudden remorse. "I've lost everything," Simone continued. "My reputation, my career, my life. Trevor's gone. He moved across the country to escape the shame. I'm stuck here with nothing. I can't get a job. No one will hire me after what happened. I'm about to be evicted." "And you want me to help you?" Naomi asked incredulously. "No. I know I have no right to ask that. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. That I regret what I did. That seeing your success makes me realize what an idiot I was. Simone wiped her eyes. You deserved none of what we did to you. You're a good person. I was just too selfish and stupid to see it. Naomi studied her, looking for manipulation, for angles, for the catch. But all she saw was genuine regret. Thank you for the apology, Naomi said carefully. But it doesn't change anything. You made choices that destroyed your life. Those consequences are yours to live with. I know. I just needed you to know I'm sorry. Now I know. You should leave. Simone stood slowly. At the door she turned back. I saw your engagement announcement. He seems like a good man. Better than Trevor ever was. I hope you're happy. I am. Very happy. And I got here by moving forward, not looking back. Naomi's voice was firm. Don't contact me again, Simone. I've moved on from what you and Trevor did. You should move on too. After Simone left, Naomi sat at her desk, processing the encounter. She'd expected to feel triumphant seeing Simone broken, but instead she just felt tired. Tired of carrying any connection to that chapter of her life. She called Donovan. Simone came to my office. She apologized. How do you feel? Unmoved. She's sorry because she's facing consequences, not because she actually feels remorse. But either way it doesn't matter. She's not part of my life anymore. That's growth right there. 6 months ago that encounter would have destroyed your day. Now it's just an inconvenience. Because I have better things to focus on. Like marrying you and building our life together. I like the sound of that. That evening, Naomi and Donovan finalized their wedding guest list. Small, intimate, only people who truly mattered. As they worked, Naomi realized that almost everyone on the list was someone she'd met or reconnected with after leaving Trevor. Her new life was full of new people, better people. What are you smiling about? Donovan asked. Just thinking about how my entire world changed in a year. Everything good in my life now came from being brave enough to start over. You didn't just start over. You leveled up. She kissed him. We leveled up. Together. The wedding planning continued through spring. Naomi found joy in every detail, choosing flowers, tasting cakes, selecting music. This wedding would be nothing like her first. That one had been about appearances, about impressing others, about following traditions she didn't even care about. This wedding was about love. About commitment between equals. About building a future together. But first there was one more piece of unfinished business. Detective Barnes called on a Tuesday morning. Miss Thompson, I thought you'd want to know. Trevor's sentencing hearing is scheduled for next month. The prosecutor wanted to check if you'd like to give a victim impact statement. Naomi paused. She'd moved on from Trevor, built a new life, fallen in love with someone worthy of her. Did she need to face him in court? Did she want to? Can I think about it? She asked. Of course. Let me know by the end of next week. She discussed it with Dr. Carmen. What do you want to accomplish by speaking at his sentencing? I don't know. Closure maybe? Or maybe I just want him to hear in person how much damage he caused. Both are valid reasons. But make sure you're doing it for yourself, not for revenge. Naomi called the prosecutor back 3 days later. I'll do it. I'll give a statement. The courtroom was smaller than she expected. Trevor sat at the defense table in an ill-fitting suit, looking diminished and exhausted. He didn't look at her when she walked in. The judge called Naomi to the stand. She'd prepared a statement, had it written out on note cards. But standing there, looking at the man who'd stolen from her, lied to her, destroyed the life they'd built together, she set the cards aside. Your Honor, when I married Trevor Thompson 10 years ago, I believed in forever. I believed in partnership, trust, and building a life together. I worked hard to be a good wife, a good partner, a good person. And in return, Trevor systematically destroyed everything we'd built. Her voice was steady, calm. He didn't just cheat on me. He stole my money, money I'd earned, saved, planned to use for our future. He forged my signature on loan applications. Opened credit cards in my name and maxed them out. He planned to sell our house without my knowledge and leave me with nothing. Trevor's shoulders hunched. Good. The financial damage was severe. But the emotional damage was worse. He made me doubt myself, question my judgment, wonder if I was crazy for trusting my own husband. He and his affair partner humiliated me in public, mocked me while spending money they'd stolen from me. The judge listened intently, taking notes. But here's what Trevor didn't count on. I'm stronger than he ever was. I rebuilt my life. I started a successful business helping other people avoid what he did to me. I found real love with someone who treats me as an equal partner. I'm thriving while he's facing the consequences of his actions. Naomi looked directly at Trevor now. He finally met her eyes. I don't hate you, Trevor. I pity you. You had a good woman who loved you, a stable life, a real partnership. And you threw it away for what? Some excitement? Some quick money? A relationship with someone just as toxic as you? She shook her head. You destroyed your own life. I'm just grateful I got out before you destroyed mine completely. She turned back to the judge. Your Honor, I'm not asking for the maximum sentence because I want revenge. I'm asking for it because Trevor needs to understand that actions have consequences. That you can't hurt people without facing justice. Whatever sentence you give him, I hope it includes restitution for his victims and real accountability for his crimes. She stepped down. Trevor was crying now, quietly, his shoulders shaking. Simone was in the gallery watching. Naomi walked past both of them without a glance. Outside the courtroom, the prosecutor thanked her. That was powerful testimony. The judge was clearly moved. I just told the truth. Trevor's lawyer is trying to get him probation only. But after hearing your statement, I think the judge will give him actual time. I'll accept whatever the court decides. I've said my piece. Now I'm moving on with my life. The sentencing came 2 weeks later. Trevor received 2 years in federal prison followed by 5 years probation. He was also ordered to pay full restitution, not just to Naomi, but to the credit card companies and banks he'd defrauded. It would likely take him the rest of his life. Naomi wasn't at the sentencing. She'd said what she needed to say. Watching him go to prison wouldn't give her any additional satisfaction. Instead, she spent that day at Foundation Legal, working with a client who was escaping an abusive business partnership. Helping someone else felt better than watching Trevor suffer. That evening, she told Donovan about the sentencing. 2 years. It seems like both too much and not enough. How do you feel? Relieved. Like I can finally close that chapter completely. She leaned against him. I'm ready to focus on our future now. No more looking back. Then that's exactly what we'll do. The wedding was 3 months away. Naomi threw herself into final preparations, determined to create a celebration that reflected who she and Donovan were together. They chose a venue overlooking the water, decided on a sunset ceremony, planned a reception that emphasized connection over spectacle. This is perfect, Naomi said, reviewing the plans with their wedding coordinator. Exactly what we wanted. One detail remained unresolved: what to do with her grandmother's ring. Trevor had given it to Simone during his proposal. The police had recovered it during their investigation and returned it to Naomi. She kept it in a safe deposit box, unable to decide what to do with it. I can't wear it, she told Rochelle. It's tainted now. But it was my grandmother's, I can't just get rid of it. What about having it reset? Take the stones, create something new? That way you keep the family connection but remove the Trevor association. The idea was perfect. Naomi took the ring to a jeweler who transformed it into a necklace, elegant, modern, nothing like the original. She wore it to her final wedding dress fitting and it felt right. Her past transformed into something beautiful for her future. The bachelorette party was small, just Rochelle and a few close friends. They went to a spa, had dinner, spent the evening laughing and celebrating. It was everything Naomi's first bachelorette party hadn't been: genuine, joyful, focused on friendship rather than spectacle. You deserve this happiness, Rochelle said, hugging her. After everything you've been through, you deserve a man who treats you right and a life you love. I finally believe that, Naomi replied. For the first time, I really believe I deserve good things. A week before the wedding, Naomi received an unexpected package. No return address, just her name on the label. Inside was a letter and a check. The letter was from Simone. Naomi, I know you told me not to contact you again. I'm sorry for breaking that promise. But I needed to do this before I left town. This check is for $15,000. It's everything I have left after selling what little I owned. I know it doesn't come close to repaying what Trevor and I took from you, but it's all I can offer. You were right about everything you said. I destroyed my own life through my choices. Trevor and I deserved each other, two selfish people who hurt everyone around us. I'm moving to another state to start over. No one knows me there. Maybe I can become a better person away from everything I destroyed here. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I hope you know that seeing your success, your happiness, your strength, it changed something in me. You showed me what real strength looks like. What real success is. Not stealing from others or tearing them down, but building something meaningful. I'll never be you. But maybe I can be better than who I was. I hope your wedding is beautiful. I hope you're happy forever. Simone. Naomi stared at the letter and check for a long time. She could tear both up, throw them away, refuse this gesture. Or she could accept it as what it was, a final closing of that chapter. She deposited the check and donated the money to a charity supporting women escaping financial abuse. Then she filed the letter away and didn't think about it again. The week before the wedding passed in a blur of final details, family arriving in town and last-minute preparations. Naomi found herself surprisingly calm. No cold feet, no doubts, no anxiety. Just excitement to marry Donovan and start their next chapter together. The night before the wedding, following tradition, she and Donovan stayed in separate hotels. Rochelle stayed with her, making sure she ate, helping her relax, distracting her from nerves. "How do you feel?" Rochelle asked as they were getting ready for bed. "Happy. Really, genuinely happy. Like my life finally makes sense." Naomi smiled. "A year and a half ago, I was devastated. Now I'm about to marry the love of my life and I run a successful business and I actually like who I am. How did that happen?" "You fought for it. You didn't let Trevor's betrayal destroy you. You took that pain and built something better." Rochelle hugged her. "I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of me too. For the first time in my life, I'm proud of who I am and what I've accomplished." "As you should be. Now let's get some sleep. You have a wedding tomorrow." But Naomi couldn't sleep. She stood by the window of her hotel room, looking out at the city lights, thinking about her journey. From humiliation to heartbreak to healing to happiness. From victim to survivor to thriver. Tomorrow she'd marry Donovan. But tonight, she celebrated herself. The woman who'd refused to stay broken, who'd rebuilt with strength and grace, who'd turned devastation into determination. She picked up her phone and texted Donovan, even though she wasn't supposed to contact him tonight. "I can't wait to marry you tomorrow." His response came immediately, already counting the hours. "I love you. I love you too. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for letting me. Now get some sleep, future Mrs. Pierce." Naomi smiled. Mrs. Pierce. A new name for a new life. She was ready. The morning of the wedding dawned clear and beautiful. Naomi woke to sunlight streaming through her hotel window and a text from Donovan. "Today we get forever. Can't wait." She smiled, rolling out of bed. No nerves, no doubts. Just pure anticipation. Rochelle and the bridesmaids arrived at 9 with breakfast, champagne, and enough energy to power the entire hotel. They spent the morning getting ready, hair, makeup, helping Naomi into her dress. The dress was stunning, elegant but modern, nothing like the traditional gown she'd worn for her first wedding. "You look incredible," Rochelle said, eyes tearing up. "Donovan's going to lose his mind when he sees you." Naomi looked at herself in the mirror. The woman staring back was confident, radiant, happy. She barely recognized herself from the broken person she'd been 18 months ago. "I look like me again," she said softly. "Better than me. The me I was always meant to be." The venue was perfect. An outdoor garden overlooking the water, decorated simply with white flowers and flowing fabric. Intimate, elegant, meaningful. Exactly what they'd wanted. Naomi's father walked her down the aisle. When she saw Donovan waiting at the altar, tears in his eyes as he watched her approach, her heart felt so full she thought it might burst. "You're beautiful," he whispered when she reached him. "You're not so bad yourself," she whispered back. The ceremony was short and sweet. They'd written their own vows. When it was Naomi's turn, she took Donovan's hands and spoke from the heart. "Donovan, a year and a half ago I thought my life was over. I'd lost everything, my marriage, my savings, my sense of self. I was humiliated, broken, convinced I'd never trust again. Then you walked into my life and showed me what real partnership looks like." Tears streamed down her face, but her voice was steady. "You didn't just invest in my business. You invested in me. You saw potential I couldn't see. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. You were patient while I healed. You respected my boundaries. You treated me as an equal partner in every way." Donovan squeezed her hands, his own eyes wet. "You taught me that not all love is painful. That trust isn't naive. That I deserved more than I'd settled for. You showed me what it means to build something together. Not just a business or a life, but a real partnership based on respect and honesty and genuine care for each other's well-being." She smiled through her tears. "I promise to be the partner you deserve. To support your dreams like you've supported mine. To be honest even when it's hard. To choose you every single day not out of obligation but because you make my life better just by being in it. I promise to love you with everything I have, for as long as I live." There wasn't a dry eye in the audience. Donovan's vows were just as heartfelt. He spoke about watching her rebuild, admiring her strength, falling in love with her determination and grace. "You're the strongest person I know," he said. "And I'm honored that you're choosing to build your life with me. I promise to always see you, always hear you, always treat you as the incredible woman you are." When the officiant pronounced them married, their kiss was met with cheers and applause. Naomi felt like she was floating. This was real. This was her life. This was the happiness she'd fought so hard to earn. The reception was perfect. Good food, better wine, speeches that made everyone laugh and cry. Rochelle's maid of honor speech touched on Naomi's journey from devastation to triumph. She could have let what happened make her bitter, Rochelle said. Instead, she let it make her better. She turned her pain into purpose, her suffering into strength. And now she's married to a man who recognizes and honors that strength every single day. More applause. More tears. Donovan's best man, his college roommate, told stories about Donovan's younger days and how he'd always said he'd know his forever person when he found her. "He told me once that he wanted someone who challenged him, matched him, made him better. Well, he found her. Naomi, thank you for making my best friend happier than I've ever seen him." During their first dance, Donovan whispered in Naomi's ear, "This is the best day of my life." "Mine too," Naomi replied. "And it's only the beginning." As the evening wore on, Naomi found herself standing at the edge of the reception, watching her guests dance and celebrate. These were her people. New friends, loyal colleagues, family who'd supported her through everything. This was her life now. She thought about the boutique, about that horrible day that had started everything. If she could go back and prevent it from happening, would she? No, she realized. Because that humiliation had led to discovery. Discovery had led to divorce. Divorce had led to rebuilding. Rebuilding had led to Foundation Legal, to Donovan, to this moment right here. She wouldn't change a thing. "What are you thinking about?" Donovan asked, joining her. "How grateful I am for everything that happened. Even the bad parts. They led me here. You're remarkable. You know that. I'm learning to believe it." They danced under the stars, surrounded by love and light and the promise of forever. When the reception ended and they left for their honeymoon, Naomi felt peace settle over her. The past was truly behind her now. The future stretched ahead, bright and full of possibility. 6 months after the wedding, Foundation Legal now operated in 15 cities with plans to expand internationally. The business Naomi had started from pain had become a powerhouse in legal consulting, helping thousands of entrepreneurs protect themselves and build sustainable success. Naomi stood in her office, the corner suite in the building she and Donovan owned together, reviewing expansion plans when her assistant buzzed. "Someone's here to see you. Says it's important." Naomi looked up from her laptop. "Who is it?" "She won't give her name, but she says you'll remember her from Maison Blanc." Naomi's stomach tightened. She almost said to send whoever it was away. Then curiosity won out. "Send her in." The woman who walked through the door was the boutique manager who'd humiliated her. She looked older, tired, uncomfortable in the luxurious office. "Miss Thompson," she said nervously. "Thank you for seeing me." "I wasn't sure I would," Naomi said honestly. "What do you want?" "To apologize. And to ask for help." The woman, Naomi couldn't even remember her name, sat down when Naomi gestured to a chair. "I lost my job at Maison Blanc. Turns out they were engaging in discriminatory practices and I was part of it. The lawsuit bankrupted the boutique and left me unemployable in high-end retail." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you were right to be angry. The way I treated you was wrong. Discriminatory, cruel, unnecessary. I've spent the last year realizing how many people I hurt with that attitude." She took a breath. "I'm trying to start a small boutique of my own. Affordable fashion, inclusive sizing, respectful service. Everything Maison Blanc wasn't. But I need legal help setting it up properly. I saw your business and thought, maybe you'd be willing to help me do better." Naomi studied her, looking for manipulation, for angles. But all she saw was genuine remorse and a desire to change. "What makes you think you've actually changed?" Naomi asked. "That you won't treat your customers the same way you treated me? I don't know for sure that I won't mess up, but I'm trying to be better. I'm working with a therapist on my biases and prejudices. I'm educating myself. I'm committed to building something that serves everyone, not just people who look or dress a certain way." She looked directly at Naomi. "I know I don't deserve your help, but I'm asking anyway because you're the best at what you do." Naomi considered. This woman had humiliated her, mocked her, contributed to one of the worst days of her life. Every instinct said to refuse, to let her face the consequences of her actions without help. But Naomi had built her business on the principle that everyone deserves protection and a fair chance. Even people who'd wronged her. "I'll take you on as a client," Naomi said. "Not because you deserve it, but because I believe people can change. I'll help you set up your business properly. But I expect you to actually do the work of being better. Therapy, education, honest reflection. No more discrimination. No more cruelty. Can you commit to that?" "Yes. Absolutely yes." The woman's relief was visible. "Thank you, Miss Thompson. You won't regret this." "I better not. Because I'll be watching." After she left, Naomi called Donovan. "You won't believe who just became my client." "Who?" "The woman from the boutique. The one who had me thrown out." "What? Why would you help her?" "Because holding grudges doesn't serve me. Because I can afford to be generous now. Because showing her what real success and real character look like is better revenge than refusing to help her." Naomi smiled. "Besides charging her my full rate for legal consulting? That's plenty of compensation." Donovan laughed. "You're something else. Have I mentioned I love you?" "Only about 1,000 times today. But feel free to mention it again." That evening, Naomi and Donovan hosted a dinner party at their penthouse. Foundation Legal's leadership team, a few close friends, Rochelle and her new boyfriend. The conversation flowed easily, laughter filled the space, and Naomi felt content in a way she'd never experienced before. During dessert, she stood to make a toast. "I want to thank all of you for being part of my journey. 2 years ago I lost everything. Or I thought I did. But really I just lost what wasn't serving me. And in the space that loss created, I found all of you." She looked around the table at these people who'd become her chosen family. "You supported me when I was broken. You celebrated with me as I rebuilt. You believed in Foundation Legal when it was just an idea. You stood beside me when I married this incredible man." She smiled at Donovan. "You made my success possible, but more than that, you made my happiness possible. Thank you for being exactly who you are." Everyone raised their glasses. To Naomi, Donovan said, "The strongest, most remarkable woman I know. To her success, her happiness, and the empire she's building. To new beginnings," Rochelle added. "To second chances," someone else called out. "To revenge lived well," Naomi said, grinning. "Because that's what this was, the best revenge possible. Not destruction of her enemies, but creation of something beautiful from the ashes they'd left behind." Later that night, after everyone had gone home, Naomi stood on the balcony with Donovan, looking out at the city lights. Somewhere down there was the coffee shop where they'd met. Somewhere was Foundation Legal's headquarters, her headquarters. Somewhere was the boutique where she'd been humiliated, now closed and forgotten while she thrived. "What are you thinking about?" Donovan asked, wrapping his arms around her from behind. "How different my life is now. How far I've come. How grateful I am for every twist and turn that led me here." She leaned back against him. "I'm happy, Donovan. Really truly happy. For the first time in my life, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." "Me too," he murmured into her hair. "Me too." They stood there in comfortable silence, two people who'd found each other at exactly the right time. Naomi thought about her journey, from humiliation to heartbreak to healing to happiness. From victim to victor. From broken to built. She'd started with nothing but pain and determination. She'd ended with everything: success, love, purpose, peace. She'd turned her worst experience into her greatest triumph. And she was just getting started. The city lights sparkled below like possibilities waiting to be seized. Foundation Legal would keep growing. She and Donovan would build their life together, maybe even start a family someday. She'd continue helping people protect themselves, giving them the tools she'd wished she'd had. But tonight, in this moment, she simply stood with the man she loved in the life she'd built with her own strength and grace. They laughed at her in the boutique. They thought her cards declining meant she was nothing. They were wrong. She was everything. And she'd proved it.